A show truly ends when the conversation that night finishes.
Oh, I just got a little tear in my eye. I'm Wesley Morris, and this is Cannonball. Today, Tony. Every spring, I do this nutty thing where I try and see as much theater as I can in about 2 months. Like one day at the end of every March, this alarm goes off and I'm like, oh, right, I kind of miss going to shows. For me, it's a convenient way to do things since the Tonys are usually somewhere on the horizon, and it's kind of nice to know what the theater industry likes. I spent one of my first nights on this spree at Lincoln Center watching the latest revival of Ragtime. The show is set at the dawn of the 20th century, and it's a tragedy with sweeping songs and some tension between like lefty politics as represented by socialist Jews and radicalized Black people, and these more conservative racist forces trying to arrest and suppress them. It opened on Broadway in 1998. It's based on a novel that E.L. Doctorow wrote. And, it's a novel that on no occasion that I have read it ever said, make me a musical. There's just too much going on. But Terrence McNally, one of our finest playwrights, Lynn Ahrens, one of our great lyricists, and Stephen Flaherty, who did the music, which is really good, they all begged to differ. And so, from the opening number, the grandeur of this show is already bowling you over. And it's clear that this is a musical. That opening number is in the key that just seeps into your marrow. It's got a little bit of showbiz and a little bit of gospel. One of the main characters is this musician. His name is Coalhouse Walker. He's like a shoulders back, chest out monument to dignity. He loves his car and a woman named Sarah. And when terrible things happen to both, Coalhouse comes basically undone. And the show culminates with his last number. It's called Make Them Hear You.
And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight, that sometimes there are battles that are more than black or white.
The way Joshua Henry performs this thing, like from the soles of his feet and the bottom of his soul, you just kind of have to shake your head at the pure force and control of his singing.
When they hear you, I'll be near you.
I mean, I shook my head. The rest of the room, they leapt to their feet and they applauded. They weren't at a musical anymore. They were they were at a concert. They were at a campaign rally. I mean, it was a rousing night at the theater, and the art that got made that night felt good to everybody. It made us feel powerful. And this show, I mean, it had people talking back to the action. It had white people talking back at the action. Lock him up, this woman next to me said about the racists who were definitely not locked up. And it's a little wild to be sitting in a room full of mostly white people, feeling congratulated for knowing what injustice looks like. I mean, I get the appeal of being at a show that knows where you live, but this isn't why I go to the theater, to have my values reflected back at me. Ragtime is a big, capital I, important show that also, I mean, at least in this production, kind of takes it easy on us. And that ease is, for me, what defined the Broadway season this year. I saw a few things I liked a lot, but as a collection of shows, everything seemed to want me to feel great, to give me my money's worth, to appeal to my goodness or dignity or love of famous people. And, I am not here to argue with getting what you paid for. You've seen the prices, but I also missed work that made me uncomfortable in a good way, that challenged what I thought the theater could be, to be wild and weird or tamed but challenging. What I missed was difficulty. So with the Tonys all set to be handed out this Sunday, I wanted to think through what I even mean by difficulty with the New York Times theater critic Helen Shaw. She knows a lot more than I do about the theater and how shows are made and the power they have to affect us. Helen Shaw, welcome to Cannonball.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I do this thing every year. I don't know if I had mentioned this to you. I do a stupid thing mostly because I am a poor planner.
Mm-hmm.
And I wind up I see all my theater for the year in 2 months. It's not good. I don't have my act together enough to get the tickets, to know when I'd be able to go. But anyway, the reason to mention this is doing it in this sort of spree format really does crystallize some things. There are things about a season that start to make a kind of sense or not make sense to me. There are themes that emerge. So I'm actually curious to talk to you a little bit about like what you think has been going on for the 2025, 2026 theater season in New York City.
Whew. Well, the interesting thing about collapsing it into these 8 weeks is that it means that you are missing certain shows that
I missed a couple
closed,
things,
right?
yeah.
And I know that some of the shows that you missed, therefore, are really mood setters. So you missed
Oedipus, Liberation,
Waiting for Godot, and also Bug.
Oh, the Keanu Reeves. Yes,
yeah.
yes. I've seen that.
You've seen it?
I've seen that.
Did you see the one with Keanu Reeves? Waiting for Godot?
I've seen Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter sort of do fan service.
Yes. Okay. Harsh, but real. And criticism can be practiced in these short, pithy ways. But so the reason we're talking now is because we're about to have the Tonys, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we're all pretty familiar with the idea of recency bias, that we have this belief, that if you back your show right up to the Tony deadline, then you have a better shot at the Tony. So things that think that they could win a Tony are going to hit April so hard, like perhaps a Cannonball, to use a phrase.
Oh, boy.
And so you know that you're going to get maximum razzle-dazzle. I don't think that for the 10,000 reasons they did Waiting for Godot, which is a challenging and beautiful piece of existentialist
This is not about what Samuel Beckett did.
Those people are not doing that show in order to get Tonys. No, they're doing it for strange and beautiful reasons of their own. Are they doing it strangely and beautifully? We can argue, but they are definitely not doing it to get Tonys.
Right.
So if you watch all your shows in April, what you are going to get is a sense that this is a super commercial, super populist, super tourist-oriented season. And I don't know if that's fair.
To me, Helen? Is it fair to me?
I mean, you made your choices.
I did make my choices. But the sense that I got in my little spree was, my question was, where is the ambition? Where is the difficulty? Is my mind being expanded? Is my understanding of a work being expanded? Do I have to keep up with this thing in a way that I find exciting and challenging and healthy? And I would say, by and large, that did not happen to me.
So, all right. So difficulty, and we mean difficulty as a positive attribute.
Yes, I just want to be clear. I want difficulty. I want to be difficultized.
You want to be difficulted just all over.
Pour your difficulty all over me.
Yes.
And if I can't keep up, that's on me, Tom Stoppard. I might have to see Arcadia 17 times.
That's right.
I'm better for it.
That's right.
That's right.
Theater was designed, and I swore to myself I would not mention Aristotle, but theater is designed to
You can't not
You
mention
can't.
Aristotle.
I've doodled him all over every page, but he is. So the idea of theater as a forum is right at the heart of why we go to shows, is you get your whole team together, your whole voting body together, and you sit in a room and someone goes up on stage and is like, feminism, what's with that? And then we all think about it together.
Right. Right.
And when a play or a musical is brave, they don't close the loop, right? Like it trains us in negative capability. It trains us to think in a sophisticated way. And so for me, what I mistrust in theater is when I see a play that says, hi, I'm an emotionally difficult play. I've decided to bring up an issue for you. And then I watch it close the loop. And I'm like, oh, you found an answer?
Oh, you knew I needed to get home. I had a cab to catch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did you answer feminism in just an hour and a half, no intermission?
Yeah, and I find one of the pleasures of the theater-going experience, of any art, is that I don't have all the answers. And I have more questions than anything. What I want is I want new questions, right? I want a work that is also going to maybe have the questions I have and give them a forum for exploration and dramatization. I can be more specific, but I'm just wondering, so I'll tell you some things I saw, by the way. Catch the Jellicle Ball. I've seen Becky Shaw. I have seen...
You saw Proof last
night?
I've
seen Proof. I've seen Joe Turner's Come and Gone. I've seen Ragtime and Giant. I was underwhelmed at every possible turn.
Oof.
Just about. There are a couple things I saw in this batch of like maybe more than a dozen shows that I loved.
Okay. Start from love. What was the thing you loved most this season?
I mean, so the lift of a show like Jellicle, the Cats musical, Jellicle Ball, the Cats
Apologies
musical.
to Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yes. Yeah.
No, there be no apologies necessary. This is what that man needed.
Yeah.
I think what I loved about that show is its ambition happens before we get to it. Right?
Yes.
This is taking the people who made this show basically, I assume, have experienced Cats in numerous ways, modes, states of sobriety and insobriety, and have wondered, what the fuck is going on with this show? And how can we make it make sense? Because it seems like he's tapped into something that I recognize in my own life, and that is the ball scene, the drag ball scene, gay culture. And the collision of these queer balls and Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats is ingenious. I had a really good time experiencing the ingenuity of this show as an adaptation.
Yeah, I think, because you had been talking about this word ambition. And I think that that one of the types of ambition, which is the slyest and most difficult to identify, is camp ambition, right? Because camp deliberately underplays, because camp is going to use the materials of trash and kitsch in order to make its kind of splendor.
Right.
And so this is a show that, for me at least, sitting in the room with it is really splendid. There are moments in this Cats that really overwhelm me. So, for instance, you have Junior LaBeija is in it, who I first saw in Paris is Burning,
Ball legend.
Ball legend. And is there, and is not just there, is not just trotted out and is saying, oh, look, let us not forget.
Treated royally.
Treated like royalty.
And has a function within the world of the show.
And we all take this time to not just sort of drape this person in literal splendor, right, is wearing these astonishing robes and sort of jewels on every finger, a turban,
and taking their time
nails.
Walking around, prancing around this. Not prancing is wrong.
There's no prancing. It is a really progress.
Just a courtly walk from one end of the it's a stage. Yeah. The stage to the other. Yes, it is a real celebration of forgotten, dismissed, degraded, sort of legally harassed, to say the least, people. And there is something very powerful about this interaction between the work and the room.
Yep.
The audience is there to verify, and in the case of like this adaptation having happened, ratify this production.
I agree. But one of the things about Cats, the Jellicle Ball is that it is not self-serious.
No.
And so
yes, this is a great point.
Right? And so I feel like there is this, when we talk about things that are excellence, because we're trying to talk about different types of excellence. And I think what you're saying is that it was hard for you this season to find the kind of excellence that asked something of you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Helen, yes. Wait, I'm sorry. Yes.
And so this is a show that it is asking things of you, but it is doing it in such a soft way. I mean, it is doing it in such a, it is giving you so much. There is an overabundance. The only complaint I have ever heard about this Cats is, wow, there is a lot of it. Right? The portions are so big. And so it really is. It's like you come out of that thing and you are just like, my Lord, I am just overwhelmed. And I think that is easy to mistake for ease. And it's not. I don't think it is.
I don't think the Jellicle iteration of Cats is easy.
Okay.
I do think that it's got a different kind of ambition is what I would say, right? Its ingenuity is it straightens out a work that made no sense previously.
Correct.
And now it makes more sense.
Yes.
In the hands of these drag ball
which is
legends.
which is
and
strange,
babies.
Which is really strange, right? It does feel like, oh, this is what it was supposed to mean all along. And I actually cannot think of a revival I've ever been to where I thought, oh, that's what this is about. So okay, so if Cats is your pinnacle this season, dare I ask what your low point was? What's the hardest time you've had in a room this season?
I mean, there's a few, but I would say I would choose Dog Day Afternoon.
Okay. Because
this is the adaptation of the Sidney Lumet movie that came out in 1975. It is it is a great American movie. Al Pacino, John Cazale, the stars of this film, Chris Sarandon, Charles Durning. I mean, it's one of the great New York movies. Two men rob a bank for money for one of the men's wife. They're married at this point, to go through with a transition surgery. That's the plot of Dog Day Afternoon, released in 1975. This show is a set in want of a reason for anything else that happens in this show to exist. John Bernthal and Eben Moss-Bachrach are the stars of this thing. Jessica Hecht has a small part. She's the best thing in the show besides the set itself. The thing that makes the production design great is that the movie is set both in a bank and on the street outside the bank. And so what the ingenuity here is like the bank cantilevers outward into inward into the street and outward to become the bank. It's very smart. But that's all it is. And by the time you've seen this thing go from bank to street 3 or 4 times, I'm like, call it a day. I'm done. I've had enough.
Well, I mean, so...
Did this work for you?
So let me put it this way. Okay. So I teach. And when my students hit a piece of art or I take them to a show, one of the things I tell them is they're supposed to, that they shouldn't actually do the thing that is the most common for us when we see a piece of art, which is to ask ourselves, did we like it? Right? That's what we say on the subway going home is, did you like it? Did you like it? Did you like it? And I am not sure that's a super interesting question.
No, I never ask that question.
It's not, right? It doesn't, because first of all, also, I am 49. I mean, I've watched myself like and then unlike and then re-like things my whole life.
That's the journey. That's the journey that we're on as people who watch and listen to any culture. We all change in relationship to it.
I loved Cats as a 10-year-old. I hated Cats as a 17-year-old. I love Cats as a 49-year-old. What the hell happened to me? So the thing that I ask when I'm thinking about a show is, Goethe's 3 questions. This is something you'll hit if you, for instance, have a dramaturg on your team. So the 3 questions...
Dramaturg, of course, being the person who saves your show from going, like saves the show from going any further south than it's going and finds the brilliance in an already brilliant work and emphasizes that.
The world of dramaturgy thanks you for that definition. Yes, it is the person...
It's criticism. It's on-set criticism.
It's on-set criticism, exactly. It's the person who's sort of like, who their task is the text. They're supposed to be in there looking at the text. Okay, so Goethe's 3 questions. Number 1, what is this piece of art trying to do? Number 2, how is it executing that attempt? And number 3, and only after you've answered those first 2 questions are you allowed to ask this 3rd question, was it worth the attempt? Okay, so what is this Dog Day Afternoon trying to do? We know that this starts from the stars. We know that it starts from the extraordinary relationship between Eben and John, who are friends and colleagues going back to the Bear, and I think possibly before. They're excited by the theater. They're people who both are involved in the theater. And so is there something that has the kind of ripe, vaguely Al Pacino energy that Bernthal has, and the slippery, vaguely John Cazale energy that Eben has? Is there something to do with that excitement that at the same time brings a conversation about masculinity and trans rights into the modern era, where you can get a whole lot of butts and seats to talk about how beautiful these men are together, their friendship, and also be asking about whether or not capitalism is crushing these lives? So to me, when I look at it, I don't think it succeeded. I really don't think it succeeded. And I think a big reason for that is because the adaptation was written by Stephen Adly Guirgis, who's a playwright who needs a lot of iterations, who needs a lot
You mean his process requires a lot of iterations? Yeah,
so many. And I feel
like... A dramaturg.
Maybe
2.
Possibly 2. And this feels like a show that got adapted halfway, and then it was like, I guess it's go time. And if you read any of the process pieces... Yeah,
it does feel undercooked. It
feels
really
undercooked to me. But I don't know. I kind of treasure the ingredients. So I'm not as mad as you are about it, because I was like, hey, I think I know what they were trying to do here. See, now I'm all positive. I have a heart like a raisin. I'm a critic. I hate everything. But now I'm all like, no,
but
Wesley,
you don't hate everything.
Great.
Helen, I read you. You're like you're extremely, it's not even that you're fair. I mean, I think there's a real sense of what all is going on in a show. And some things work and some things don't. And I just love the comprehensiveness of the way you approach the work. Right? These works of art, they're rarely completely perfect. And they're rarely completely terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually want to talk about something that really didn't work for me.
Okay.
That worked for lots and lots of other people. That I think is kind of, in a weird way, taking it easy on us somehow. And it's Giant.
Interesting.
It's a play. And it's a play essentially about, I'm going to put it this way, that time Roald Dahl said some terrible things about the Jews.
Yes.
And the entire play, as far as I'm concerned, is, I understand what it wants to do, right? This is a show that is trying to sort of resituate our thinking about how we talk about Israel's sort of activities in the Middle East, right? Its relationship to the Palestinian people, its mission of self-preservation and self-defense, and in whose name and against whom. It's taking those conversations and, can you criticize Israel and also not be anti-Semitic when you do it? All of those questions, those fights we are having now, are taking place in this play about Roald Dahl, set in 1983, in his house, which is under construction. And the show is essentially about, him responding to the arrival of his agent, is it? And his publisher. Or maybe it's
a woman from his publisher.
Right, it's a woman from his publisher.
Yeah.
And essentially, they're worried about his next book coming out, which is The Witches, and its ability to attract sales based on some anti-Semitic things he wrote in a review of a book about Israel's relationship to Beirut in 1982. Not even Israel's siege on Beirut in 1982. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the show is trying to wrestle with these questions.
Yeah.
My problem with it is that I think that the only interesting person in the show is the monster. The other characters don't matter to me. I mean, they're not as interesting as he is. None of the actors is as good as John Lithgow, who plays Roald Dahl. So there's they're not kidding about the giant part.
Yes.
Lithgow looms large, Roald Dahl looms large. And I think the way the show is built, in some ways, is kind of an ingenious contraption, right? Like the first act ends with the thing you've been dreading happening. You know why you're there.
Yep.
And it gives it to you almost the way a musical would give you like the big number that brings the curtain down. Except in this case, the big number is, hey, I mean, I know Hitler sucked, but I mean, the Jews couldn't have been all that good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but that is essentially what he says.
Yeah. So this is written by Mark Rosenblatt, who was
he's a director, right?
He's a director, and this is his first play. And he worked on this play for years, but it is his first play. And I do think that you feel that a little bit. I'm not saying it's not accomplished, but I think that it doesn't, I
don't think it's accomplished.
Well, here's why I think it's accomplished. I think that writing any character that is as complex and ugly as the doll in this play is a strength. I think what what Rosenblatt does not square is, what do I do with a lot of people on stage? And I think you would be forgiven for saying, like, that's the basic job. You have to know why there's 4 people in a room. And if there's no reason for those 4 people to be there, then you better reduce it to a 2-person scene. But the real thing that's in the room with Roald Dahl is his legacy. What you really are fighting with is your love of the books, your decision of whether or not you're going to separate the art from the artist. Right. Is he a monster? Yep. Like that question is answered awfully quickly.
Yes.
And the play is a bit coy about, it's like, I have this really gross carrot and I'm going to dangle it here at the end, and you know what it's going to consist of.
Y'all came to eat the gross carrot.
And then they came back from intermission. And so it's sort of like it's deliberately feeding us the poison.
But I think the thing that brings you back from intermission is John Lithgow, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
And I don't know, Helen. I don't know if that was enough for me. I mean, he's very good, obviously. But I mean, I think the reason I think this show is taking it easy on us is that I think all of us going to this show know what is morally abhorrent about his views. Yep. And I don't know. I just wish that I wish the show had made me uncomfortable at all. I was not uncomfortable at all by this.
Well, so I was uncomfortable a couple of times, but partially because there are a couple of phrases that I literally won't even repeat that he says in the play that just are like, you hear them and they kind of stick to you. They are real. It's really awful. And then the second thing, the thing that makes me angry about the show is...
Angry at the show? Or the show succeeds at... Like,
no. Okay. This is angry at the show. Is that it implies that there's a cost. It's like the wife hears him say something and she's like, I don't know about that. There's a beautiful maid / cook who listens to him say the really bad thing and she's like, I don't know about that.
It's doing the work for us. It's doing the work for us.
It is. And there's this promise that maybe, you know what? He did this bad thing. Don't worry, audience. There will be a punishment. Guess what? There wasn't.
I mean,
he stays beloved until he's in the ground. He stays beloved until 2016, right? There is no cost. And so for me, the problem with shaping it into a play is that in order for the play to do the shape that a play has, is it has to end with, ruh-roh, they heard him, something bad will happen to him, and then because you live in the world, that's not what happened to Roald Dahl.
Right.
When I grew up reading James and the Giant Peach, no one was like,
well,
he's a terrible anti-Semite, but good luck with the peach situation. Don't eat any big fruit. And, I don't know.
It doesn't trust us.
Me.
It doesn't trust us.
It's the Social Network problem.
Right. Yeah.
The movie The Social Network, where it's like, what? Girls in school didn't like him. And you think, sorry, he married his college sweetheart.
Right. Okay, Helen, enough about me. I mean, let's actually just talk about, I am always curious about how people who practice criticism practice the criticism. Not so much the thinking and the synthesizing that we do in our work, but how do you physically do the job? So for instance, I don't like to watch a lot of movies after I eat lunch, right? These are like things like this. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what some of your just procedural methodology is when you are out in the world and watching things. Do you see things more than once? Do you have a rule against watching them more than once? Talk to me.
So, it is very handy in the theater that most of that is decided for you. Curtains at 8, and so that's where I should be. And so a lot of what I would never see a show twice simply because of the practical project of trying to see everything in New York. So if you're trying to see every show that's happening in New York, you need to see 8 shows a week, and you need to do that 52 weeks
So
a
you
year.
Working like you're on Broadway or in the theater, okay?
Yeah. I have a powerful hoofer's mentality. And so I don't really see shows more than once. But so this actually gets to the question of practically, how is theater criticism done differently from other kinds of criticism? A lot of times you're looking at something that you have a very long relationship with. So
this is a great point.
Right?
Okay.
Half of the time I'm seeing a show, if I see Our Town on Broadway, I have seen 12 Our Towns, starting in high school and going until now.
You might have been in Our Town.
I have not. No. My powerful acting career is luckily in the pre-cell phone era, and but you have these long relationships with plays. So you come into the space and you sort of simultaneously you do this little trick where you simultaneously remember everything you know about it. So what do I know about Henry IV? Okay, and then you also try and forget it at the same time because you're supposed to be there with the art that's in front of you. So it's a little bit of a sort of Zen practice, like you try to make yourself a neutral slate. And then practically what I do is I take a ton of notes. I write down almost everything that's happening while I'm watching it because otherwise I tend to start to dream a little bit. I do start to think about the last time I saw Henry IV.
Yeah.
And so you say,
the notebook keeps you grounded?
It keeps you there, it keeps you in the moment.
Okay.
It's like snapping your fingers and saying, no, it's right now. Helen, you're looking at this Henry IV. And that's very handy.
I mean, sometimes you might be watching this Henry IV and wish you were watching one from 5 Henry IVs ago.
But you can't let your mind do that.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what a civilian.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what is happening this year. You went to a bunch of shows. Talk to me about some things that worked and didn't work for you.
Okay. So one thing that really worked for me was nostalgia. So it was
Nostalgia worked for you?
Yes, and here's how.
Okay.
So you would think, so there are shows like Schmigadoon, which is a musical, which
Entirely
is just
nostalgia.
purely nostalgia. It's like, do you remember the golden age of musicals? If not, we will cram them down your throat.
Regular people.
Yes.
Who like musicals. Oh, maybe one of them does and one of them doesn't.
That's right.
A couple.
That's right.
She loves them. He hates them.
Yes.
They get trapped Brigadoon style in the world of a musical.
Yes. And then everybody they encounter is sort of like a figure from The Music Man or a figure from Carousel or whatever.
Classic musicals.
And it has this sense of, if there has been a secret part of you that thought, why can't musicals just be like Carousel?
Just be Rodgers and Hammerstein all day.
I know exactly. Why
Ginny
are they
Sasori,
dead?
No,
exactly.
No, Ginny Sasori.
I know.
Okay.
Don't play so many sharps and flats. And so this is deeply pleasurable for that kind of,
I haven't seen it. I saw the television show.
Warm bath.
Okay.
Now, but the part of nostalgia that really worked for me, and this is something that was just fantastic for me, was the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh.
And do you have a relationship to the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I have a relationship to the Time Warp as a music video that was just a clip from the movie that got played on MTV.
Yes. Yes.
It was just Tim Curry.
Yes.
They just ripped it from the movie, put it on Video City.
Yes.
Just pick your video channel. There was the Time Warp.
And I'm trying very hard not to overshare, but for a person of a certain
you're on
age,
Cannonball, ma'am. There's no such thing as oversharing.
Oh man.
What do you want to tell us?
So I just feel that in the world of creating a sexual identity, that if you take the Phantom of the Opera and cross it with Frankenfurter, you're pretty close to a young Helen Shaw's ideal man. And I am sorry that is
Helen, let me get my phone. I've got about 7 phone numbers for you. Are you available? Do you need a
No,
Do you need
like,
a Frankenfurter?
This is not a call for help. This is a call for action, which is people should go to see Luke Evans in this production.
They definitely should.
Yes.
He is I just never think about him as having this performance in him. And he is I don't know where this is, that's one of those things that like just seems like it's been living in him this whole time.
Agreed.
And nobody asked him to do it.
Agreed. Absolutely. And that, I think, is what I had a good time with this season. So you were saying, like, what are the things I liked? I did like, so those two aspects of nostalgia really worked for me.
Okay.
And then also another show, so we were talking about difficulty, is one of the shows that I think had the highest level of difficulty this season was a show called Liberation.
Oh, I missed it.
Which was a very, very beautiful show. And it won the Pulitzer. So, it has been like, it's not exactly like a well-kept secret, but it is about a woman interrogating both her own feminism and her mother's feminism. So it's sort of a memory play. And she takes us back to the 70s Encounter Group, where her mother and a group of women tried to sort of do some consciousness raising together.
Is it Bess Wall?
It's Bess Wall.
Yeah, okay.
Written by Bess Wall, who is a very, very delicate, deft touch. And that was a play that was done in a very, there was no outrageous moment. There was no sort of explosive climax. Instead, it was sort of like, this is what conversation can do. So when I was talking about how much I love that theater is a forum, this was like the peak of that for me.
Structurally seems built to be exactly a classical Greek forum.
Yes, and so there they are in chairs in front of us, echoing the chairs that we are sitting in the audience, and it's like, oh, are we in a consciousness-raising group together?
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
I picked it up. I picked up a copy just to I didn't, I've read some of it, but also it was a show for me that I just heard people talking about it, and it seemed initially like, it was like, I shouldn't see this. And it's very, it was obvious what it was doing and it wasn't working for some women in my life. And then about 2 weeks later, I was part of this other conversation where the women talking about it were like, it was fantastic. This is exactly what I needed. And like this fight between the generations about what feminism even is good for. I was like, God damn it. I've got a week to see this thing. And I'm not going to make it.
And you're out of time. Now, look, Peter Sellers, who's a great opera director, I once saw him give a talk, and he said a show truly ends when the conversation that night finishes. So a show may take 2 hours in the theater.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what he means.
But when you stop talking about it that night, that's actually when the curtain comes down.
Oh, I just got a little tear in my eye.
Peter Sellers, you can't turn your back on him. He'll get you. And so I think that, so for me, shows like Liberation, Giant, all the things that we talked about that were limitations of Giant, I kept talking about it that night, right? And so
I'm still talking about it.
And
My
you're still talking
boyfriend,
about it.
we go back and forth
enough.
about, we agree, but then we're like, it is trying to do something though. But it just does. It didn't. It's doing it in the wrong way.
And I feel like I should turn to camera and be like, and that's difficulty.
It's right there.
Hi, that's difficulty. Yeah.
So what else?
Okay, other shows I loved. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about the big dog?
What's the big dog?
Death of a Salesman.
Oh, yeah, okay, we could talk about the big dog. I will say personally, as I explain what this play is, it's a play that a lot of American kids encounter in school for reasons I don't want to say I don't understand. I commend the teachers who put it in front of me, and I commend the teachers still trying to put it in front of lots of other students. But it is also a play. Also, have you seen a high school performance of Death of a Salesman? Because I have. I've seen 13-year-old Willy Loman.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But this is a show about a family whose patriarch is at the end of his career, essentially, but can't afford to be. And his pride won't allow him to be there. And so he's trying to just, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say one last go round in the sales business. And this production, anyway, that's the setup, basically. That's the setup. So what talk to me about what you felt, what you thought.
So for me, this play, there is nothing that's aesthetically difficult about this play, right?
No.
You can go to this show.
You mean as a text?
Yeah, as a text. It is. When I was trying to define difficulty for myself, when I was thinking about coming here to talk about it, I was thinking, well, what's the opposite of difficulty? Is it accessibility? Is that its opposite?
It's Anne Juliet.
No
shots to Anne Juliet, but that is.
And yet a shot has been fired. But I think that
it's just a candy shop. It's a very delicious candy shop.
That's true, but when you have Death of a Salesman's serious. I mean, it's super serious. It's about a guy who is, and this is a spoiler, gonna die, and he and his sons.
In Death of a Salesman, really?
In Death of a Salesman, the selling isn't going to work out, and he is going to disappoint his sons. His sons will disappoint him. It's like this terrible, terrible confusion of generations. And the reason why kids get it in high school is because it allows teachers to assign an essay on the American dream and how the American dream isn't a dream, but it's a nightmare. And so those sort of simple thoughts have kind of attached themselves to this.
Obfuscated, yeah.
Exactly. These simple thoughts have been tied to this difficult play. And so it's not difficult. It's not difficult to understand. You watch the guy, he whines, his sons disappoint him, he disappoints them, death, sadness, denouement, okay. But what is hard about it is that, in fact, the more times you see it, the older you get.
This is crazy true.
Yeah. And it gets harder and harder.
Oh my God, Helen, I don't need to be crying today. But it is actually true. Go on.
So for me, this production, so it stars Nathan Lane. And Nathan Lane is, all he has to do is walk out on stage and you can see the song and dance man who doesn't know what song is up next. That is so beautiful. It's so sad.
Yeah. What you just said is beautiful. And Nathan Lane's performance.
He's so beautiful in it.
Yeah.
And in this production, the sorrow that we have for the generation that missed it, that is a sorrow that resets every 10 years. At every generation.
And this is the time for that show.
And this is the time for that show.
It's uncanny how punctual this thing is, right? Like it knew gas prices would be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It knew that all we do all day, if we're so inclined, is to be on an object where like the new Willy Lomans are pushing.
Yeah.
But we're also at a point where like there's another set of actual Willy Lomans, right?
Yeah.
Who are being displaced. And some of those Willy Lomans, it's going to sound crazy to say, Helen, are like 30, 35 being displaced by AI. I mean, there are just so many considerations just on that front.
Yeah.
And this to me, it may not be a difficult play, but it is a difficult production to me.
Yeah.
Do you feel, how do you feel about it as a work?
I mean, I love it. I have to say I love it because to me it is just distilled sorrow. And I'm a little bit of a sicko. I go to theater to be reminded that I'm dying.
Right.
And that
this
life
is the difficulty.
Short.
This is part of what I'm asking, right? This is part of what I'm asking with this ambition difficulty question, right?
Yeah.
Like remind me that I am human, but in all the ways I am human.
Yep.
And don't cut any corners. Don't spare my feelings.
Yep.
Make it hard.
Yeah. And if you have ever disappointed a parent, this show is unbearable. If you've ever disappointed your child, this show is unbearable. I really, like that for me is why I watch it, is that it's almost not different from my life. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so close to the things that I feel sorrow
about. Like your
actual,
like Helen Shaw's life?
Well, no, I mean, my parents are very proud. But what I mean is that it's like theater is great at creating emotions. It's very good at turning up the volume and making you feel like you can kick up your heels. It's very good at making you feel anger. That happens in Giant. It's very good at making you feel a certain kind of way. That's in Rocky Horror. But it has this one emotion that I actually don't think you get in other media. I don't think you get it from books. I don't think you get it from film, is regret. Is you are watching it unfold in front of you and you can't stop the play from happening. You can't get up out of your seat. You can't put the book down on the coffee table. You can't stop Willie from doing what he's doing. And so you regret with him the way that life is unstoppable.
It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. But also the tragedy of the play is, yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Because, look at this place. Look at this country.
And that's... I feel like, and that's difficult.
Okay, Helen, listen, Pink is going to supervise some Tonys this weekend.
Yes, Pink is. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about some shows that are up for some Tonys. I mean, do you care about, care and it's not even, that's not the right way to do it, but like, what is the value of giving these out? Is there a show that's up for some Tonys that deserve to win them? Just as a seal of their excellence.
Yeah. So for me, what the Tonys are, number one, it's the most attention that the country ever pays to the theater.
This is how I found Audra McDonald was the Tonys. I'd never heard of her before.
So you just
Audra and McDonald when I found her.
Right. You just explained why the Tonys are important, right? Is they find people who don't know that the theater is going to be there for them yet. And they're like, wait, what's that? And so on this production, on this Tony Awards night, you're going to have production numbers from that Cats we're talking about, which is a sacred space right now. We are going to have whoever, either Lithgow or Lane or whoever win this award. And it is going to sort of, I don't know, for me, it's the big PR moment, which is, look, what you started this conversation with was there was a lot that was disappointing. The point of awards is that we get to the end of a season and there is too much to love. There's too much to award. There are several races here that I can't call because I want them both to win.
I.e. Nathan Lane and John Lithgow.
I.e. Ragtime and Cats.
Yeah.
So you have this situation where...
Which are both up for best revival
of a musical. And I think that's what I love about the Tonys, is it says no matter what kind of sulky, brooding attitude one might have had during the season, one realizes, no, wait a minute, it was an abundance of riches, and aren't we lucky?
Helen, I'm lucky to have you. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.